Hi everybody, today we're going to discuss programming our clean water system 7500 series Rev 4 softener valve. Basically this will be used for softener or a tannin system, same programming. So anyway, we're going to talk about programming. There's two levels of programming here on these valves. The standard level that you as the homeowner are going to set time of day, date, things like that. Then there's the deeper level programming. I'll show you how to get into that, but we don't recommend you actually doing that unless you really understand your system. If you change the type of filter that you're doing, it's not going to work correctly for you. So anyway, this is the basic just programming. You're going to plug it in, the screen's up. The first thing we're going to want to do is unlock the screen. So in order to do that, we're going to push the up and down arrow keys at the same time. After a few seconds you hear the beep. You're now in the programming mode. Go ahead and push this first button over here, the little box with the arrow to the left, and you're going to see a whole bunch of different parameters here. Okay, so there's company info. We're not going to worry about that. Time of day. So scroll up and down to where you want to be, then hit this first button again, and you can see here this is set up at 8:08 a.m. So if you want to change it to PM, you go past 12. So there's PM, 1, 2, 3 PM. AM right now. Let's set this for 10 a.m. So there's 10. Push this button again. You scroll over. We'll go down to 0. Okay, so now the time of day is set. Set date is our next one. There again, you can set the date. Today is 9/28/22, but basically you can scroll up and down to change that to the correct one. Use this to move over to your date. When you finally got the last date, then push it and you come down. Our next one is the total capacity. So this is, like I said, this is for a softener. So this is going to be if you have a 32K, a 48K. Basically, this one here is set to a 32K right now, but we're going to go ahead and just show you to do that. You could just scroll over and then back. So that's how you set your capacity. Hardness. Now this is one you're definitely going to want to set. Here at the shop, we set all of these at 20 grains of hardness just to be cautionary. We don't want to, have you not regenerate enough and ruin your resin bed. So this is set at 20 grains per gallon. If you're on city water, most city water, at least in this area, runs 13 to 15 grains. So you can scroll up and down and hit that. If you're on well water and you don't know your hardness, you might want to do a test and see what your actual hardness is there. Again, city water, you can go online and look up what the hardness level is for your area. And number of people, that's always set at 4. And regen time, this is what time your unit is actually going to backwash. 2 o'clock in the morning, we usually set our systems in that area because most people are usually asleep at that time. If you do have multiple systems, you do want to stagger the backwash times by an hour. Your softener, you want to have the softener at the last one that backwashes. Even though they may not backwash on the same days, inevitably one night they'll show up at the same day. So anyway, that's where you're going to set your regen time. Backwash time, that's always going to be 10 minutes. There again, you can set that up and down. BSR time, this is your brine. This is where it pulls the brine out of your brine tank. That's always set at 60 minutes. Fast rinse time, we always set that at 8 minutes here in the shop for the fast rinse. And then the brine refill time. So this setting is for the amount of water it puts back into your brine tank is going to draw next time. So this depends on your system size and the brine line flow control that's installed. So you can reference your startup manual for the correct time for your size system, but this is preset here at the shop, so this should be correct for you. There again, if you want to change that, you can scroll through that way. Max days for regeneration, we always set that at 30. There again, if you want to change it, you can. 30 days means if you don't use enough water in the 30-day period, it's going to do an automatic backwash, keeps your resin cleaned out, and so it doesn't cake up on you. So that wants to be at 30 days. There's usage logs in here that's kind of neat. You can kind of go in there and see what your daily peaks and usage logs were. I believe also these have the weekly and monthly. So anyway, just some data in there if you want to look at that. So anyway, once you have all your parameters set, You're going to go ahead and push this second button, which is the finger and the arrow to the left. That's going to take you back out into service mode. You'll know it's in service mode because it'll say in service right there. It says we have 1,300 gallons left before we're going to regen. And right now the flow rate is 0 GPM. So that basically covers what I'm going to call the customer at home programming of the valve. If you do want to go in and do to the master program, I'm going to show you how to do that. You also have instruction in your startup guide to do that. We do highly recommend, if you're going to do this though, and you're unsure about what you're going to set up, call in and have one of our service techs walk through it with you. So anyway, to get into the master programming, you're basically going to push these first 3 buttons in that order. You're going to come back up to the screen like we did before. It's going to have the same parameters. Now you can set the language, and it'll have the company name again. You can set the hour mode, so you can go to 24-hour mode here if you want versus the 12-hour. You can still set the time of day and date, but also there's going to be regen cycles and program times. This is where you're going to set the valve up for an air valve, a filter valve, or a softener valve. Whether you're going to regenerate per days or per gallons, there's just a lot of parameters here. So again, we recommend these things are pre-programmed at the shop. We recommend you don't get in and do this unless you need to. Maybe you're changing your valve from a regular valve to an air valve. Again, call in if you're not sure, and we can help you out. One of our techs can help you out. Again, see, it's got the total capacity, water hardness. So it's got all the settings, but it's just got a few more parameters you can change in there in the master programming. Again, when you want to exit the master programming, you just hit the finger button, comes back out, and it shows you're in service. So, okay, that wraps it up for today. Again, Rev 7500 Rev 2 or Rev 4, 7500 Rev 2.5, 7500 Rev 4 softener programming. Have a great day. Thanks.